Changes are coming to the Mankato Clinic's leadership.
Aaron Stuvey has more with what's new and how the clinic plans on navigating the tumultuous landscape that local healthcare is experiencing.
New leadership in local health care. The Mankato Clinic announced Wednesday that they have named Aaron Johnson as the new CEO. Johnson replaces Randy Farrow, who retired at the start of the year and worked alongside Farrow for the past month. The clinic has 10 different locations around Mankato and the surrounding area, and the organization's history is something that Johnson says he values highly.
Mankato Clinic has a long-standing history in the community here, over 100 years. We plan to stay independent, and my goal, and I view my role as the individual who's going to lead the organization and support the providers and staff to continue for the next 100 years.
The move comes as changes are happening all around the local healthcare industry. Just last month, Mayo Clinic Health System closed a number of clinics in places like North Mankato and St. Peter, and Medelia Health expanded into places like New Ulm. Johnson says that instability is in the front of his mind as the clinic plans for the future, and that no changes are planned in the care that Mankato Clinic provides.
Mankato Clinic, we don't have any plans to have any significant changes. Our plan is to stay independent, build on what we already have in place, and hopefully continue to grow and meet the growing demands of the community.
In Mankato, Aaron Stuvey, KUIC News Now.